And it's one-on-one. It's the Diamonds, the men's open single sculls here. And we're looking at, from Neerhuis, ASR Neerhuis in the Netherlands, Lars Kreiter on the far side, and in front of us Hamish Harding from Australia, from the Australian National University Boat Club. So it's Lars and Hamish, left and right. Clean start. Hamish needs to pay a bit of attention, doesn't he?
So here we go. You're Harding here on the left-hand side. Got to about, looks like maybe clear water ahead. Looks like he's in quite a good rhythm. But Kreiter here has got a lot of experience. He's done national selection trials several times. He will not be rolling over.
That's right, and it's a longer race in the single, and the dynamics of singles racing are quite different in terms of how the lead might change and how you feel about it. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, at the Olympic level, the winning crew, the winning single sculler never leads at 500. So because the race is like basically 500 meters longer on time than an 8, it is a much more of an endurance aspect, and pacing in your rhythm and being more sort of speculative with your energy and spread it out over the course is really important. But here Harding doing a good job here, sculling very nicely. In fact, he's been part of the Australian lightweight team.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, we've got a lightweight versus a heavyweight, so lightweight category means you really have to be efficient to shift the boat, don't you? And he's done just that here. It's a nice efficient style he's got, so lightweight against a heavier weight, and he's got some pedigree too as well. Second in the Australian nationals in the lightweight single, so he's been winning, and that's a habit.
As they come past the 3/4 mile post there, definitely in the lead, and just very languid, isn't he? And he's quite deliberate with the way he puts his blades in at the front end, so you see his hands get wide, and he deliberately puts the blade in there before this seat moves, and that means he spends most of the time pushing.
Yeah, and you can see the water's quite tricky here, isn't it? Even a very experienced national team sculler like this, the boat's rolling around a little, but what he's doing well is keeping that fluidity, and you said the hands are rising, so whichever way the boat's rolling through the movement of the water, he's able to connect really solidly.
I think that's a fair point. You know, this boat is less than 12 inches wide, and it's completely round at the bottom. So it's like rowing on a barrel, basically. In this condition, you've got launches going down. It's really bouncy. And for the single scullers, a lot of their concentration is making sure they've got balance. So when they get fully compressed with their knees fully bent, they're actually in a strong position to put the blades in the water.
Yeah, so Hamish Harding, coached by Nigel, I guess that's his father, not clear, but a lot of family traditions here in coaching. I know Ollie Zeider was coached by his father famously, and he's in the Diamond Sculls later in the draw potentially. Here we're looking at the face of Lars Kreiter from the Netherlands, from the famous Neerhuis club, sitting there right in the centre of Amsterdam, student rowing clubs. So many competitors, so competitive here at Henley.
Yeah, and here even here Kreiter's it's a good sculler. You know, he was 10th at the national trials last year, 12th this year in the Dutch team, one of the leading rowing nations in the world. And here he is. You can see also quite good at making sure when his hands are wide, the blade goes in the water, and not just pulling the handle to him all the time.
Yeah, so we're seeing two technically very, very strong scullers, and well, it's still Hamish Harding to the left of our picture, come from Australia to compete in the Diamonds, the lightweight athlete. He's fast and he's technically strong. So is the sculler from Netherlands, as you said. Two really strong displays of sculling here, but Harding still has the edge.
And Harding's mother was the first female world champion for Australia. His mother.
So it's in the genes, isn't it?
Ferguson, yeah, certainly is. So his father's been a coach for quite a long time, so he's been around rowing quite a lot during his life.
Well, it's a pedigree, a family pedigree we've seen in so many Henley competitors here already this week, and so many winners down the years. There's something in the genes, and there's something in the inspiration you get from seeing that, you know, maybe sometimes Olympic and world champions are also your dad and your mum and regular people too. Yeah,
exactly. And here, and this is one of the things that's great about rowing, isn't it, is that these people never give up. You never know what might happen. You never take your opportunity, so you need to be tenaciously just making sure you go as fast as you can and take your opportunities. And here, even very nicely, you can see how the legs here of the sculler Kreiter, they're really pushing against something solid. You can see when he pushes, they don't go super quickly. They're pushing a lot of pressure, so he's really moving the boat and his weight through the water really effectively.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with rowing, you might think, you know, the faster you move your legs down, the better. But actually, what you're trying to do is lock the oar in the water and lever the boat past the water, leave the boat past the oar, and that means you've got to really control the speed of the power application. There's no point in doing it faster than the boat will take.
And I think that's one thing people confuse sometimes, is how quickly you apply the pressure at the beginning of the stroke is really important. But if you get that right, then you don't actually move that quickly through the water.
So for the rowers watching, you know, there's some different schools of thought about how you apply the power in the boat. What's the style that you like to see from your athletes?
I think the most important thing for me is just the amount of time you spend in the water. So the blade is covered in the water for as long as possible and continuously accelerating. And the best way to do that is put the blade in as far away forward as possible and have strong, slow legs pushing that all the time.
Well, out of the window of our commentary box, which is just after the finish line, we can see Hamish Harding from Australia, the lightweight, in the finals for a few strokes. He's commanded the race really pretty solidly all the way through, and so we don't really know whether this is his full speed. I suspect he's just been sitting on quite a comfortable position there and saving his form and saving his legs for the days to come. So Hamish Harding from Australia crosses the line ahead of Lars Kreiter from AUS. Confirmation of that win for Hamish Harding over Lars Kreiter.